Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko. Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko. Mahalagang mga balita, napapanahong impormasyon. Kami ang inyong gabay pag may bagyo at sakuna. Serbisyo ng gobyerno kapag may nangangailangan. Mga proyekto ng Pangulo, damang-dama ang pagmamahal niya. Tulay ng mga hinaing, ang problema ng bayan ating lulutasin. Tulay sa himpapawid, tulay ng pagbabago. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko. Ng bagong Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko. Ng bagong Pilipino. Mga proyekto ng Pangulo, damang-dama ang pagmamahal niya. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko. Ang boses ng Pangulo. Karamay nyo kami, kahit malayo man kami nakakarating. OFW magsasaka, buhay ay iba't iba, san mang lugar ng bansa natin. Tulay ng mga hinaing, ang problema ng bayan ating lulutasin. Tulay sa himpapawid, tulay ng pagbabago. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko. Ng bagong Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko. Ng bagong Pilipino. Mga proyekto ng Pangulo, damang-dama ang pagmamahal niya. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko. Ang boses ng Pangulo. Radyo Publiko. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko. Radyo Pilipinas.
Ito ang Presidential Broadcast Service
Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko.
ng Bagong Pilipinas para sa Bagong Pilipino. Naghahatid ng mahahalagang balita at impormasyon na guugnay ng pamahalaan sa sambayanan. Tulay sa himpapawid ng serbisyo publiko. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko. Ang boses ng Pangulo. Sa Kalbayo, 882 AM.
Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko.
It's Cope with me time na. Oras na to give yourself some love. Huminga, mamalandong, ngan sudlon aton kalugaringon para makakope sa daily stress sa aton kinabuhi. Updiak niyo bumiyahe, ngan in-navigate an ups and downs san kada adlaw nga kinabuhi para makitaan kusog nga adila permi sa aton kalugaringon. Mao sa mga nag-break pala o sa mga may ginpipinsar nga problema o sa mga karuyag mamiling guidance o comfort, adi and cope with me para updan ka. Remember, waray problema nga dako kung nato na ato bangon san ka isog, pagpaid, ngan kahibaro nga may ada mga tawo, nga dala permi na mamati ngan mag-cope with you. Mao, get ready to tune in. Abrihian niyo kasing-kasing, ngan upod kita lumayag pakadto sa self-discovery, personal growth, ngan resilience. Dinila sa Cope with Me. Aton oras, 9 minutos sa naglabay sa alas 3. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back sa Kaupod with me. I'm your on-air companion, Suzette Pretencio, kaupod niyo permi sa journey called life. Ngan kaupod naton sa Master Control si Joven Cardenas. Maupay nga kulop sa aton nga tanan, maupay nga webes sa nga tanan nga namamati sa aton nga sa radyo, ngan mga namamati nga naghihiling sa aton Facebook Live at Radyo Pilipinas Kalbayog. So yan na nga aton Thursday edition sa naton programa. This is a very special episode kay ini an pagtikang san aton Cope with Me Women's Month special nga kundiin ginatawag naton nga Women Through the Ages. Kay kada bulan man gud sa Marso in aton ginsasalin urog and Women's Month. So san sini nga aton series Women Through the Ages aton i-highlight ang mga boses ngan mga eksperyensya san mga kababayin-an sa mga magkaduridilain nga stages san kinabuhi. So pinaagi san sini nga aton pag-uro-istoryaha ginlalauman naton akon paglaom nga mas maintindihan pagod naton ang mga unique nga mga challenges, mga dreams and perspectives nga nagpoporma sa journey of womanhood. Diba? Kay sa kada stages man gud san kinabuhi iton nga tanan in may dakatasan gin aatubang nga mga different challenges And so for our episode today, aton ikakadto naton atensyon sa teenage years. So daw mo sinin makaka-relate not only the mga teenagers nga namamati sa aton yan but also ang mga forever teenagers like me So ang teenage years man god asya niyan stage sa naton kinabuhi nga kundiin puno sa discovery, growth and sometimes uncertainty and also a little bit of angst, diba? Kay pag teenager ka, you are old enough to form your own opinion and perspective but not old enough to be heard sometimes. So ini an oras nga kundiin ang mga daraga mga kabatanunan nga kababayin-an in nagtitikang to really form their identities and pursue their dreams and navigate expectations the world around them. So yan na para sa aton siyahan nga episodes and Women Through the Ages. Aton mga kaupod, yan nga kulop, is a remarkable young woman nga kundi hindi rila siya nagre-representa sa beauty and grace but also the voice and aspiration sa mga kabatanunan yan na dide sa aton community, hindi rila sa community natin sa bugos nga Pilipinas. So aton mga kaupod, ang Miss Teenager Universe Philippines 2026 ngan si anat niya mga kaupod aton guest iya primera nga preference nga lingwahe Filipino o Tagalog but mas preferred an English. So medyo pa-practice ana ako niya ng mga nakatago nga mga English. But anyway, we are honored to have her with us to share her insight on what it means to be a young woman today. So, dire na natin paihaon pa. Let us all welcome Miss Crescia Aves, our Miss Teenager Universe Philippines 2026. Good afternoon, Miss Crescia, and welcome to Cope with Me.
So, hello everyone. I am Krisha Abbas, your Miss Teenager Universe Philippines 2026.
Yes, Miss Krisha. So, for the start of our conversation, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey as Miss Teenager Philippines?
So, hello once again, everyone. I am Krisha Madam Shavoy Tarsa Abbas. You guys can call me Krisha, and I am 15 years old, a proud Filipino residing in the Philippines, specifically in Leyte. And I will be representing the Philippines in the upcoming international pageant, which is Miss Teenager Universe 2026. And I am someone who I consider very determined, very passionate, and very ardent, especially when it comes to things that I really enjoy and I really love doing, such as pageantry. And honestly, I am also very passionate and ardent about other things and other hobbies that I do in my life, such as hosting. I do a lot of hosting since back in my school. I am also a very passionate debater and also very passionate in public speaking. So my Teenager Universe 2026 journey was actually very it had a lot of ups and downs. I would call it a roller coaster actually, since I was very shook with the amount of events and the amount of resilience that I had to have within myself to in order to endure the journey. So it started when I went to Manila to screen for Miss Teen International Philippines, which was originally a national pageant. But when I finished the screening, I ended up being chosen and appointed to an international stage, which is Miss Teenager Universe Philippines. And that puts me into my situation right now where I am enduring the very hectic preparations, the very hectic events and activities that I have to fulfill as your Miss Teenager Universe Philippines 2026. So yeah, I hope that it's enough information um to hope that all of you already know some bits and pieces about me.
Yes, that was really very comprehensive how you presented yourself, and we can clearly see how you are so well versed with public speaking, as with your answer with our first question. But with your passion for pageantry, is this really on your own choosing, or maybe there is some influence by your parents or by your family members?
To be honest with you all, I wasn't really that type of girl to join pageants beforehand. I was actually diagnosed with anxiety back in 2020 when the pandemic hit and I started isolating myself from other people because I was so afraid of the judgment and the comments that other people would make about me. So I lacked a lot of self-esteem and confidence back then. But the person who actually pushed me through pageantry was my mother, since she was a beauty queen when she was young as well. And she pushed me to join activities such that put myself out there in the world, that allowed me to fully present myself. And those activities are pageantry. And I also divulged into acting a little bit, where I went into Manila and I was a part of the Star Magic ABS-CBN workshop. So even though it didn't start to be my dream, where I was the one pushing my family, my friends, and my parents to support me through pageantry, even though it didn't start with me, I still believe that it was also part of my destined journey to become someone who enjoyed pageantry and is able to use pageantry as a platform that inspires others.
Yes. It was very interesting, Miss Krisha, how you said that you have actually experienced a little bit of anxiety, because I think a lot of teenagers would relate to this. We have seen a number of cases rising with different mental health issues. So the fact that you are here now and actually representing the whole of the Philippines to be the voice of the teenagers in the Philippines, it's really such an inspiring story. So I'm just curious, how did you overcome this challenge? It is not such an easy task to present yourself in front of a crowd, much more so in an international stage.
I am fully aware that when it comes to terms of anxiety, that feeling of being judged by other people, it's quite heavy and it's quite very hard to overcome, especially at a young age. And honestly, within myself, I experienced that when I was around 11 years old, where I had to go through therapy to talk to a therapist about my mental health. And honestly, I overcame that by surrounding myself with a very good environment and surrounding myself with activities that would distract me from the very negative thoughts. So I surrounded myself with my family. I started being open to my family more. I started to go to therapy sessions with my mother and also started being more open to them about what I'm feeling and what I need. And I started exposing myself to several activities that allowed me to present myself. And I know that it started very rough. I was actually very shy. I wasn't the best speaker, and I wasn't the most confident when it comes to activities that present myself. And honestly, it may have started rough, but I am very, very much proud of myself for being here right now, and honestly, I also know that my younger self would also be proud of me for being able to be here and speak my thoughts and opinions.
Yes, you are truly a remarkable woman. Actually, hearing your answers, it doesn't seem like you're 15 years old. It seems like you're just the same age. But being a 15-year-old and then achieving such this great feat of becoming the Miss Teenager Philippines, how has being a title holder influenced how you see yourself and other young women? Are there any changes with the way you perceive the world and about beauty and grace with of young women?
Honestly, there was a funny thing that I noticed that the last time that I joined pageant, I was actually the youngest. And that honestly took a very big toll when it came to my confidence when I'm answering on stage, when I'm walking on stage, seeing all these people, because I know that they were judging me and they were thinking that, oh, she's too young, she's 14, what she's gonna do? What is she gonna do against these 17-year-olds, these her ates, and honestly, what I realized from that moment, and actually during my current pageant journey, which is the international one, I am once again the youngest. So honestly, instead of using those negative comments, the comments of other people, the negativity, I do not let it get to my head. Instead, I use that as motivation, and honestly, it made me see myself as limitless. No matter how young I may be, I know that I am very passionate. And when it comes to my passion, my determination, and how persistent I am with the things that I am truly happy of doing, I believe that I can achieve whatever I want as long as I divulge myself and make sure that I get enough practice. I put in the amounts of effort. And also, I start seeing other girls as limitless as well. And that is why I'm also using my platform and amplifying my voice to also empower our youth of today, because I know that most of them are experiencing the same experiences that I did, where I was very unconfident with myself. My self esteem was very down and very bad. And I hope that my journey, my comments, and how I remind other people that they are limitless, no matter how young they may be or no matter how old they may be, they can still find that motivation and that force to continue their dreams.
Yes, I think that is interesting, and I think it really just goes to show the purpose of being a woman, of of supporting other women, with you seeing other girls as limitless also, just as how you see yourself. So you have mentioned a little bit of doubts of from other people, thinking that you're too young, you're the youngest. So right now, what does being a teenager mean to you in today's world? And do you think that people should listen more to teenagers?
I do believe that people, especially older ages, should start listening to teenagers, because actually, teenagers, we are exposed to so much different types and categories of pressure, such as peer pressure, academic pressure, and pressure in general of these stereotypes that are circulating our world right now. And honestly, sometimes adults can see us as very dramatic, as people who think about themselves too much. And I think us teenagers really just need a someone to listen to, and someone who can choose to understand them instead of judge them. And because that was definitely what I needed when I experienced anxiety. And people should definitely start putting their belief in these teenagers, that they can rise above the challenges, the problems that they are experiencing, and become better.
Yes, that is true. And I think I can relate to that because, of course, I've also been a teenager once in my life. And it's really a little difficult when nobody's listening to you and people just, give you these labels, not knowing what you are going through. So we will talk more about teenager life, challenges of teenagers. After our break, aton oras, 25 minutos sa naglabay sa alas 3, mabalik kita sa aton programa pagkatapos lasan pipera nga mga pahinumdom.
Ito ang Presidential Broadcast Service
Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko
ng Bagong Pilipinas para sa Bagong Pilipino. Naghahatid ng mahahalagang balita at impormasyon na guugnay ng pamahalaan sa sambayanan. Tulay sa himpapawid ng serbisyo publiko. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ang boses ng Pangulo. Sa Kalbayo, 882 AM.
Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko.
Maging fuel efficient sa wastong pressure ng gulong at pag-set ng thermostat ng aircon sa katamtaman o hindi bababa sa 22 degrees Celsius. May savings ka na aabot sa 5%.
This is a public service announcement from the Department of Energy and this station.
Maging fuel efficient, panatilihin ang takbo ng sasakyan sa speed limit o 60 to 80 kilometers per hour at gamitin ang cruise control sa mga highways. May savings ka na aabot sa 15%.
This is a public service announcement from the Department of Energy and this station.
This is a public service announcement.
Discipline is the key. Umiwas sa aksidente sa daan. Ang pagmamaneho ay may kaakibat na responsibilidad, hindi basta mapaandar lang ang sasakyan. Kilatisin ang sarili, ang kahandaan sa manibela, siguruhing inyong konsentrasyon ay hindi magagambala. Importante rin na ating laging isipin, init ng ulo ay huwag pairalin, bagkus kaligtasan ng lahat ang siyang dapat unahin. Isang mahalagang paalala mula sa Presidential Broadcast Service at Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, 738.
This is a public service announcement. Public service announcement from PBS, Presidential Broadcast Service at Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, 738.
Sa isang bagong Pilipinas, hindi dapat mangamba ang pamilyang Pilipino sa mga bayarin sa ospital. Kaya naman sa Zero Billing Policy, libre ang inyong paggamot sa lahat ng mga Department of Health hospitals. Mapa-inpatient, outpatient, o emergency services. Isama na rin ang mga mamahaling gamot, lab tests, therapy, at marami pang iba. Libre ang inyong paggamot. Ang pangangalaga sa kalusugan ng mamamayan ay ang ating pangunahing tungkulin dahil ang serbisyong medikal ay karapatan at hindi dagdag pasanin.
Aton oras, 28 minutos sa naglabay sa alas 3, kamo in padayon nga namamati sa Kaupod with me, dinhila sa aton estasyon, 882 kHz DYOG, Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, Kalbayog. Ngayon aton lagi hapon, makakaupod sa aton programa, ang aton Miss Teenager Universe Philippines 2026, si Miss Krisha Aves, para paghatag sa iya experience being a young woman san saya na nga aton kalibutan. So, good afternoon once again, Miss Krisha. So, to continue with our discussion being a teenager, you have mentioned earlier about your passions and your academic achievements, different things that you are into. So, you have different passion that you are pursuing right now. So I bet there are a lot of pressure that you're handling. So how do you deal with pressure, peer pressure, school stress, and of course, expectation from others?
Honestly, one thing that I didn't really expect when I joined this journey was that I would be so busy to the point where I don't get to go to school regularly, where I had to take online classes because of how busy my schedule has been. And honestly, it has taken a very big toll, not only in my academic journey, but also my mental health. Because, of course, I've been hearing a lot of comments, a lot of other people discriminating me because of how inactive I've been. And honestly, I've heard several comments saying that, oh, I'm not very active anymore when it comes to school activities. I've just been focusing on my pageant. Of course, I've heard a lot of those things. But honestly, it really all comes down to how you manage your time and also how you take these comments. For me now, I manage my time through focusing on my individual activities through online classes. And I've also been given time to make sure that I try my best to catch up with the lessons despite not being there personally. And it has been very, very hard to not be able to witness the lessons, witness the teachers explaining the lessons. And honestly, it all really comes down to myself and how I learn. And also about the comments and the negativity that other people have been throwing at me, I would take them with a very positive mind. I myself really love being positive. That's why my favorite color is yellow. So I take them as motivation. And I also take them as a reminder to myself that I am strong and I can get through whatever challenge I am dealing with right now.
Yes, I think that comment is gonna resonate with not only teenagers because a lot of people, of course, are also dealing with negative comments, comments by some other people. So I think it is very good that you have that positive mindset to instead of taking it personally, you took it as a way for you to improve. So another question is that as a teenager, sometimes it is really maybe difficult for you also to voice out your opinion, and maybe sometimes your voice or your opinion isn't taken seriously. So how do you deal with that when people are underestimating you just because you are a teenager?
Well, I have experienced a number of experiences where people have been looking down upon me just because of my age. And I still experience that up till now, especially with how I'm once again the youngest in an international pageant where I'm 15 and the girls that I am against are talented, they're wonderful, they're beautiful, and they're around the age of 17 to 19. And also, actually, in my last pageant, I mentioned earlier that I also experienced a lot of age discrimination. And when other people start disregarding my opinions, my advocacy, and my voice, I start getting louder. I start amplifying my voice even more so that other people would know that I am very unapologetic and I will continue doing what I really love to do, no matter how old I may be.
I think many people would also love to be that because even though sometimes, our age adds up, sometimes we still don't have that confidence that you are showing right now. So I think a lot of people will be inspired by you, not only the teenagers, but also me being in my 30s, also like, you're really a remarkable woman. So how about when you are facing so many different things? Of course, sometimes this would get to you. So how do you stay on top of that? How do you stay confident when things get rough or overwhelming, especially that you are young and there are a lot of doubts and you are handling so many different things?
Honestly, throughout my journey, I have been experiencing a lot of downs because oftentimes I am so tired by complying all the responsibilities, the activities that I have to go through as your reigning Miss Teenager Universe 2026. And honestly, it has also been a very big shock to my body where I've been experiencing illness such as slight fevers because of the lack of rest that I receive. And it's honestly very detrimenting to my body and not only to my physical body, but also my mental health. And I know that those experiences are supposed to make me stronger. And I know that it is a normal stuff that you will experience when you start indulging yourself when it comes to pageantry. Because through pageantry, you're exposed, you're portrayed as this very confident, strong, graceful young woman who, no matter what other people may say, they can always rise above those challenges and that negativity. But sometimes when it gets too much, where I feel very tired, more tired and unconfident than usual, I would really take my time and rest. And I start isolating myself from other people because recently I have been exposed to many people. I have been talking to many people and I have been conversing with them, speaking with them, and sometimes it gets a little overwhelming. So I make sure that I take my time and the time to focus on myself. And usually on that time, I tend to take naps, listen to very calming music, talk to the people I love, and also have fun.
Yes, I think it is very important to have a me time or alone time to get in touch with yourself and to get in touch with your thoughts, because sometimes when you're around other people it can be really quite overwhelming, especially with all the chaos and of course other opinions that you are going to need to process. So you have been such an inspirational woman as such at such a young age of 15. So now we are very curious, who inspires you as a young woman? Who inspires Miss Krisha?
Honestly, it's not a really a matter of a individual person, but actually it is my family who inspires me to be the person who I am today, especially that they have been my support system when I experienced such really bad mental health. And they are still my support system up till now. So I just really keep them within my mind every time I feel like it's getting overwhelming, it's getting tiring. I just remind myself that I'm doing this for my family. And specifically, the person who really inspired me was my brother, who's actually diagnosed with autism. And he has been the reason why I am very ardent about my advocacy, which is providing a safe space for the children with special needs. And not only because I want to create a safe space for him, but also because I want to make sure that these children aren't overlooked just because they have the title or the label as someone with special needs. So I want to make sure that they are given the empathy, the understanding, and the right love that they deserve, because I know that in the future they can also be successful lawyers, successful entrepreneurs, whoever they want to be.
That is true. We have seen a lot of people with autism who had achieved great things. So your advocacy is truly essential, not only for the teenagers but for the whole society, because we have seen, of course, other people also discriminate people in the spectrum. So you are very determined young woman, of course, because of this purpose and of course with your brother. So how about other women? If you can name one person, one woman, whether a famous celebrity or a personal woman, a woman in your life whose actions motivate you, who would it be?
Let's get out of the celebrity spectrum, outside of the fame spectrum. The one person who I truly am motivated is because of my mother. She is the reason why I'm very motivated to push through the challenges, the problems with this very hectic journey of mine, because she has been the one pushing me from the very start, because she saw my potential of more before other people saw it themselves. She was the first person to ever convince me to join pageantry. And honestly, a lot of people have been saying that them they remind them so much of my mother. Like whenever they see me, they start seeing a very young version of their mother and how my mother used to be when she was young. And honestly, without the motivation of my mother, without her pushing me to my limit, it without her advices, without her convincing me, I wouldn't be here right now and I wouldn't be an inspiration to other people.
As many people would relate to that as well. I think a lot of women would also name their mother as their main motivator because, of course, we will not be who we are if not for our mothers. So, how do you see yourself inspiring or helping other young people in your community, especially with your advocacy with autism? How do you think you would really push for it so that it wouldn't be like mere advocacy campaign, but really it would be felt with your community?
So with my pageant journey, I've actually visited my brother's school, which is Bright Tomorrow, and thank you, Bright Tomorrow, for that, for allowing me to connect with the children, to understand them, and with that, I hope that I can create more action and hopefully create a ripple effect among our society, among our youth, that I am able to spread awareness for these children. I am able to show to other people that they're also capable of doing things that they love with the right care, with the right empathy. And I hope that I can continue to use pageantry as a platform to build myself up and also to build these children up and also other girls like me and the whole youth in general to continue on pursuing their dreams and to continue on to do good things in life. I want my voice to be heard. I want other people to see me as an inspiration and also a reminder that we should always give other people a chance and we should help them up as well to success.
Yes, that is true. So, if you could give advice to other teenagers facing challenges, facing different pressures from their family, from peers, from the society, what advice would you give them?
Based on my experience, I have experienced several challenges, several obstacles that really require resilience and support from other people because it was very draining. It was very hard to be someone who grew up, who had anxiety, who was scared of other people, who was scared of socializing because of the judgment. And the hard reality that we have to face is that other teenagers are still living that reality where they are afraid of other people, they're afraid of putting themselves out there. And that often leads to them forgetting their potentials and forgetting what they are truly passionate in life. So the advice I would give is laban lang. I want them to know that no matter what challenge they may experience, what obstacle they may have to go through, may it be anxiety, may it be other problems that teenagers often are experiencing right now. I want them to know is to remain strong because that is what will make you stronger in the future. And also, I would want them to find someone, specifically a very trusted adult, that someone who is willing to understand them and listen to them when it comes to their problems. Because I believe that a person you can talk to, a person who will listen, is a very accessible outlet when it comes to your problems, these negative thoughts that have been building up in your head. And that would be the advices that I would give to the teenagers struggling right now.
I hope our teenager listeners take note on that because it is very important advice. So now that you have given an advice to the teenagers, what about advice to older women? I mean, so that maybe you have a little bit of pieces of wisdom that we can also get from you and apply into our life?
I have been very passionate about my branding or my very ardent, passionate advocacy, which is about being unapologetic when it comes to my age. And I think it is also very applicable to older women as well. Oftentimes, they perceive their age as a hindrance. They start thinking, oh, I'm too old for this. Oh, I'm not that beautiful anymore to join this because of my age. And honestly, that is a really, really big effect of beauty standards. And these beauty standards often look down on older women, where older women start divulging themselves in plastic surgery, divulging themselves in Botox that makes them younger. And I think age is the older you are, it's a very beautiful thing to see, especially that I consider older women as women filled of wisdom, women filled of experience. And it is very important that we should never let our age pull us down. No matter how old you may be, you may be younger or older than me, it should never pull you down from being the true woman that you really want to be. And we should never let the comments of other people, the negative stereotypes of other people pull you down just because they think that, oh, you're old, you can't do this, you can't do that. I believe that we should always listen to ourselves, because the best person we should always listen to is ourselves, because that is what will make us truly happy.
I think you have really nailed it with the age comment, with being proud of your age, because it is true that although you have heard also like, oh, she's too young for that, but many older women also heard comments about, oh, she's too old for that, she can't, she can't bear children if she would be around 30s anymore. So I think there are also really a lot of age discrimination with being a woman. So I think it is really very important that we should not be defined by our age. So with you as being a teenager and me being 30s, and to all other women out there who are listening right now, as with Krisha said, be proud of your age, because I think it is really such an important thing for the society to really think about, especially with viewing other women. So as a teenager, Krisha, what do you wish for the adults to understand you better?
So I have mentioned earlier that a lot of adults have seen us as very dramatic, as people who think about themselves all the time, who over dramatizes things. And honestly, they should really start listening to us more. They should really understand us more as teenagers, since we are young, we are still growing, and at this generation, honestly, we are exposed to so many forms of negativity. May it be through social media, may it be through comments of other people, may it be academic pressure. We are so much exposed to those negative thoughts, to those negative experiences, that it really is sometimes overwhelming to our very young minds. And I hope that other older people would start understanding us and would really start to be someone who instead judges us, to be someone who listens to us. Because oftentimes us teenagers just really need someone to talk to, especially someone who is older, since they have more wisdom, they have more experience that is able to aid the inexperienced mind of a teenager. So it is very important that us, the adults, people with age, and also us young people, to work hand in hand to create a society that age discrimination isn't really something that is prevalent today. We should create a society that is open to become empathetic to all different types of ages and work together as the young and the old to create a very united and society filled with love.
Thank you so much for that wonderful answer, Miss Krisha. So for your last question, any message you would like to leave to our listeners, especially to other young women and also to the men who are listening to us right now?
So, hello everyone. I hope you had a very great time listening to me and Ate talk about the problems that people of all ages and all genders experience. And I hope that no matter what challenge you may experience, no matter what obstacle you have to go through, you should always find the right people to act as your support system and to continue on being someone who is unapologetic and also someone who doesn't listen to any types of negativity that they may hear because it's only going to pull you down more. And I hope that you guys start listening to yourselves more, to start loving yourselves more, and of course, taking care of yourself more. It's very important that we take care of ourselves and to love ourselves. And yeah, that would be all from my advice. And I hope you all enjoyed and listened to me and Aten.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Krisha. You have truly shown us that being wise, no, it's not about the number of your age, you know, even as young as Krisha, 15 years old, even younger, 11 years old, they can impart wisdom that we all can learn from. And you have truly shown that with how you have worded your words and with your advice, not only to your fellow teenagers, but to all women and also to all genders that they can also learn from you. So thank you so much, Miss Krisha, for sharing your experience and insights and reflections with us today. So your story really reminds us that every stage of life there is challenges, but also opportunities for growth, and that with all of the challenges, we can all overcome it. So thank you again. Thank you so much, Miss Krisha Aves. And oh, also before I forget, when is the Miss Teenager Universe? And when can we see you? And where would it be?
Okay, so my pageant will be held on around April 4. And I hope that you guys would be there to support me through online. It would be live streamed at YouTube, and I hope you can all unite as one and come support not only me, but also my other Philippine contestants who will be also taking part in their pageant. And I would like to take this time to also say thank you to my organization, Miss Teen International Philippines, and especially to my national director for allowing me to be here, to be able to speak my opinions and my thoughts and to share my insights about these issues. And also thanks to them for giving the opportunity to be able to step on an international stage. So once again, I hope I see you all in the live stream of Miss Teenager Universe 2026 held on April 4. So thank you everyone. Thank you for listening, and I hope you guys can continue supporting my journey.
Yes, we will for sure. So we will catch you on April 5. Okay? So support kita sa aton Miss Teenager Philippines, Miss Teenager Universe Philippines 2026 nga taga Leyte, diba? Fellow waray nun ini actually siya. So again, Miss Krisha, thank you so much. So hopefully sa mga namamati sa aton yan na in damo an iyo nakuha nga insights ano as part sa aton Women Through the Ages series, Women's Month special. Ini nga aton yan na pag-restoryahay kaupod si Miss Krisha Aves in talaga nga na-highlight ang boses and mga bata nga mga kababayinan nga kundiin despite sa era bata nga edad, they are already making an impact in their own ways. Ngan sa rin ko pa nga ni kanina nga damo anaton malalearn sa mga kabatanunan, diba? Mga teenagers, kaya kung papamatian lang naton, sira. So it is a reminder nga an empowerment dito nagtitikang sa certain age, nga kanahanglan 18 ka na, no? That is the only time that you can influence other people or form your own identity. But it begins, the moment that you find your voice and you listen to it, and believe in your own potential. So, sa mga namamati sa aton yan na, hinautuntangan na inspire ka mo ni Miss Krisha, just like nga na-inspire ak sa iya. So, really remarkable young woman. And again, supportahan ta siya sa iya pakikompetensya sa Miss Teenager Universe 2026. Yan na, nga April 5. Nga bueno, nga dinaw human an aton Thursday episode sa naton programa Cope With Me. As always, nagpapahinumdum kami sa iyo to be the grace you need for yourself. That's all for today's episode of Cope With Me. Mababatian niyo permi kada alas 3 to alas 4, tikang Monday to Thursday. Ngan buwas nga adlaw, harampangan ta ini. Kaupod naton sa Master Control si Joven Cardenas. Masunod ang news update. Ngan pagkatapos, masunod naman ang iyo paborito nga programa, ang Billboard. Aton oras, 3:55. Salamat sa pagpamati. Again, this is Suzette Pretencio. Kaupod niyo permi sa Journey Called Life.
Ito ang Presidential Broadcast Service.
Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko
ng bagong Pilipinas para sa bagong Pilipino. Naghahatid ng mahahalagang balita at impormasyon na guugnay ng pamahalaan sa sambayanan. Tulay sa himpapawid ng serbisyo publiko. Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko. Ang boses ng Pangulo. Sa Kalbayog, 8:82 AM.
Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko.
Mula sa pinakamalawak na newsroom sa buong Pilipinas. Ito ang Radyo Pilipinas News Update.
Philippine Standard Time, 3:56 p.m. Maupay nga kulop sa iyong nga tanan. Asya niyan mga balita yan na nga oras. Kalbayog nakiusa sa Wednesday Walk for Women, Walk for a Cause, kasumpay san pagselebrar sa National Women's Month. Detalye pamatian naton sa report ni Charmaine Perito Balvez.
Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Pilipinas. Report.
Kasumpay san pagselebrar sa National Women's Month yan bulan Marso, nakiusa ang iba-iba nga sektor san komunidad sa ginbuhat nga Wednesday Walk for Women, Walk for a Cause sa Calbayog City sa pagpanguna sa Office of the Provincial Prosecutor, Calbayog Sub-Office, katuyuanan sa aktibidad nga igpakita ang suporta sa pag-empower san kababayan ngan paghatag mensahe nga padayon ang pakigbisog para sa ira katungod ngan seguridad sa komunidad. Sumala kan Fiscal Janilyn Dormiando, simbolo ang aktibidad san pagkaurusa para igpakita nga may mga tao nga andam bumaton ngan sumuporta sa kababayan labi na adton nangangaro hustisya. An matitirok nga pondo tigang sa aktibidad an igwawahig para sa Gather for a Hope project san opisina nga nagtutuyo maghatag suporta ngan update sa mga kliyente kadaman kababayan nga may ginpapadalagan nga kaso sa korte. Dugang pa ni Fiskal, pinaagi sini nga programa ginpapakusog ang koordinasyon san piskalya, law enforcement agencies ngan lokal nga gobyerno base masigurado nga may padayon nga suporta ngan paggiya para sa mga biktima samtang ginpapadayon ang pagkabot para sa hustisya. Ang Wednesday Walk for Women ang kabahin san padayon nga kampanya sa pagrespeto, pagproteher ngan paghatag dignidad sa kababayan sugad nga importante nga miyembro san komunidad. Para sa Bagong Pilipinas, Charmaine Perito Balvez, Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, Calbayog.
Para sa aton katapusan nga balita, 615 nga mga risda sa Somor Kumarawat Fuel Subsidy. Detalye sa pagbalik ni Charmaine Perito Balvez.
Radyo Pilipinas Report.
Maabot 615 nga kwalipikado nga mga mangirisda tikang sa napulo nga mga bungto sa probinsya sa Samar ang Kumarawat Fuel Subsidy Cards tikang sa Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. Kada benepisyaryo ang Kumarawat tag 3,000 pesos nga assistance nga gagamiton nila pagpalit gasolina o diesel para sa erang mga sarakyan pandagat. Ang ginbuhat nga distribusyon ang parte san inisyatibo san gobyerno nasyonal nga buligan adton gugtiay nga mga mangirisda nga usa san pinakaapektado san padayon nga paghataas san presyo san petrolyo. Pinaagi sini kaya masustener ang panginabuhian san mga samarnon nga nagdedepende sa industriya san pagpangisda. Sa pahayag naman san gobernadora san Samar, Shari Antan, ginkikita na yinasan gobyerno probinsyal ang dugang nga mga pitad ug makikigkoordinar sa Department of Labor and Employment para pagtudlok san mga programa nga makakabenepisyo ang mga mangirisda. Para sa Bagong Pilipinas, Charmaine Perito Balvez, Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, Kalbayog.
Asya adton kabugusan sa mga balita yana nga oras. Padayon kamo pamati sa DYOG Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko Kalbayog para sa mga news updates. Ini si Suzette Pretencio para sa Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko.
Mula sa